Good evening, everyone. Again, my state is going through another mass shooting. My condolences go out to the victims and their families, and our prayers are going up for the victims and families. Um, it's funny how quickly this has turned into a gun debate. Again, I have to say these words that a gun did not kill these 17 people. It might shock you to know that what killed them was an act of evil. Let's stop blaming everything on a gun. Let's stop blaming everything on mental illness. And let's wake up and realize that it is evil, plain and simple. The Bible spoke about it. Spoke about disobedient, lawless children. Well, who else is there to blame? What kind of parents did this young man have? What kind of upbringing did he have? Maybe he had great parents. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he'd never been to church before. But you know what? You know what used to be in the schools for people like him? The Ten Commandments. Reading time for whatever book you wanted, including the Bible. Both have been kicked out of the schools. And it seems like that's all too common. As a mother and a reverend, I know that sick feeling in the pit of your stomach, as it reminded me of what happened at my daughter's school. We didn't get to see our kids till 6 o'clock due to an active shooter, or at the time, someone on the campus with a gun. Either way, we didn't know at the time. But it was a much happier ending. I think it's time that we throw out the gun debate. It is very hard to obtain a gun permit in the state of Florida. I know because I have one. As a mother, I want to protect my family. As a reverend, I want to protect my flock. I think the bigger problem, again, is the lack of morals, principles, and values that this country no longer has and has not had in decades. And for the past 8 years have really totally went down the drain. I think it's time that we understand that if someone wants to kill, they will find a way to get a gun or a car or a hatchet, poison, cyanide, whatever. People kill. They want to do it bad enough. They're going to find a way to do it. If they want to get a gun, they're going to find one. This is not a tragedy. This was a evil, murderous act. It was premeditated. Tragedies are things that are out of our control. Maybe we are in more control than we think when it comes to mass shootings. Why not spend the extra money to have a retired military or law enforcement inside a school with an AR rather than a adolescent with an AR-15 shooting up all the kids? Why not? I think I'd much rather have the retired law enforcement or the retired military. Congress is walking the floor tonight on this gun debate about the AR-15. Please, I have an AR-15 because they're easy to shoot. They are. I'm not this huge gun enthusiast. I don't collect all kinds of guns. But they do work, you know, great for hunting, you know. If Congress wants to have a talk, let's have a talk about the things that we should. Gun debate is not something we should talk about. Maybe take a look around at what comes out of your mouths. Maybe teach parents how to be parents. Stop letting teachers be the parent. Maybe forfeit some money for these school districts to have an armed guard. I'm all for it. I wish they'd had one in my daughter's school. I did a little survey where I rode around and looked at schools, and during the day they'd leave the doors wide open and not one single staff member standing in the hallway. So let's stop blaming the gun. It cannot think for itself. It cannot act for itself. Nor does it have legs to walk. Nor can it shoot on its own. It takes an evil, demented person behind it to do it. Not a mentally ill person. Why would you want to put a murderer and label him as a mentally ill person, when there are children that have autism or Down syndrome? You really want to put Down syndrome and children with autism in the same category as a murderer? A cold-blooded murderer? Really? No. The problem in this country is that America kicked God out and kicked the Ten Commandments out. The problem is this country's turning communist. Or at least a certain party has turned communist. Did we not learn our lessons of the